Hello, I'm Tracy Johnson, admin of Learn to Make Cheese, along with my Heather Barnes and Rachel Washitz-Banks. And we are currently doing New York. If you're living under a rock and we hadn't told you, if you're the one person that we haven't mentioned, meeting of the milkmaids, all of the fabulous stuff that we've been doing since we were here, which Rachel has coordinated fabulously, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
We decided we were going to have a cheese board. And we were going to talk about what adminning this group is for us, what it does in our day, what it takes, how much we love it, hopefully. We're just going to vibe. So this is a new word I've learned in New York from our friend Izzy. We're going to vibe. So let's vibe, ladies.
All right.
I'll start with cheers.
Cheers.
And I didn't bring anything to drink. So
Do you want to go and get something?
No, I'm good.
Sure?
I'll be fine.
Okay. Cheers. That's good. Do you want to start with cheese or do you want to start with talking?
Whatever you prefer.
I don't know. I haven't done this before. Okay. So how does your day start from a Learn to Make Cheese perspective?
Oh, well, I get woken up quite a bit over the night. So I tend to wake up, sort of look. The first thing I do is answer questions that happened overnight. Because for the most part, we've got coverage throughout the day, but really late at night, not a lot goes on. And I want to make sure if somebody needs help, they can get it. Then I check to see who is waiting in the queue to sort of be let into group, and we look through everyone that asked to be part of Learn to Make Cheese. But we don't let everybody in because we want to make sure we're creating a safe environment. So we don't want any bots or any spammers or anything like that.
If I can jump in there, the statistics for the last month is 50-50. We've let in half of the people who wanted to come in because the other half of them were either bots or fake accounts or something just didn't click right with them.
But occasionally there'll be a profile picture that might
Inappropriate or offensive.
Be offensive.
Yeah.
Right, or a red flag.
Because group is growing exponentially. We went up 1,000 people in the space of like the last week.
Which means a lot of questions come through, a lot more than we previously had. And then the other thing that I do too is generally like one obscure question will come up and I'll spend a good part of the morning researching it. I wake up to a lot of messages from people and I'm always, always happy to take people's questions. I mean, I never mind looking at a cheese or researching something.
Do you get unsolicited cheese pics? On a daily basis, I get unsolicited cheese pics.
I do.
As long as it's cheese, we don't mind. We'll help you.
I'm always happy to help people because the reality is when I started, I had a lot of questions. Yeah. And then when I started at work and I began working with Goat Cheese, I had a lot more questions, which I remember when I first messaged you and I was like, I'm not even sure if the admins take messages. They're going to kick me out of group. And that obviously wasn't the case. And so I'm always happy to help somebody else. Yeah. So
we've been where you've been. So we sympathize, agonizing over all of the things that you agonize over. And because we probably did as well. So yeah, I mean, that's helping people grow and watching people become really good cheesemakers is
the best.
It's what really, so it's so motivating for us. And I'm like Rachel as well. I don't always sleep for the best. So I will often sort of break up my sleep with a couple of hours of group and then go back to bed.
I have 2 kids and a cat, and between them I get woken up at least 3 times every night. Yeah, and I always check group. But it's funny because like being away, we're all in the same hotel room. We wake up and the first thing we all do, we've all got our phones out. We know what's happening and we love it. We really do. I really love watching people grow and helping them. I mean, it really, to use a common say, it really fills my bucket. I love that. So.
And what you were saying, that we've all been there. You know, when I first joined Learn to Make Cheese, I didn't know anything at all about making cheese. And Chera took me under her wing because I came in with a million questions. I was so annoying. And admin pulled me to one side and said, look, slow your roll. Let's have one question a day, pick a cheese, learn that cheese, and then work on from there. Because back then we didn't have frequently asked questions. We didn't have start here, all of which you'll find in our featured section. We didn't have a holes policy. That's come about through Rachel and Heather. We didn't have contamination. We didn't have documents about additives. You know, that's a collusion between, well, the additives, Lisa Peterson was involved, you know, heavily in that one. We don't want to say to you, don't make the cheese or don't put the thing in the cheese because it will blow. But we've seen things.
I think
we want you to have success.
I think too. I mean, a lot of times I think we get seen as the safety police, but all we're really trying to do is say, these are the things that could happen. You make your choice. Yeah. And it's hard. There weren't a lot of comprehensive guides about eyes. And I remember that first Asiago I made. And I came in a group and I said, there are holes everywhere in my Asiago. And everyone said it was mechanical. And I knew it wasn't mechanical. So now I'm freaking out even more. So we've sort of come up with a procedure to kind of evaluate that. You look and see. Look at Google, you look at Cheese Forum, I pull out the Oxford Dictionary or companion, and then we look at what traditionally happens in group. We compare it to the description of New England cheese making, and through that, we've sort of been able to get a better handle on what's
even
going
Google.
on.
If you look at the cheese that you've made
Yes.
and you Google the images of that cheese.
That's what I do. That's the first thing I do.
Yeah. Then you have an idea, you know, okay, is this supposed to have a more open structure? Fine.
But even other stuff. I mean, standard Rennet test. I guess we a little bit knew about that. How to test culture. We didn't really know. There was none of that knowledge, I think, when I started out. And it's not anybody's fault. It's just, it takes a lot of digging to put all that in one place. And I don't think anybody, I don't know what this says about me, but I'm patient enough to dig through studies and things like that, you know?
People are asking different questions now than they were asking
A
2
lot.
years ago before
They're
you guys
harder.
joined.
Every once in a while, you guys give me a run for
No,
my
I
money,
will-
and I will reach out to someone in the industry, and thankfully I've made some friends.
But smarter. People are asking smarter questions. They're looking at their cheese and they're like, I don't think that's right. I'm going to get a second opinion. And I love that because,
I like
like,
it.
if you just blindly, I'd eat it. Okay, that's fine. If you have a robust immune system, that drives me nuts too. But so we're in New York right now. All three of us are in
New York
this
City.
New York City, indeed. Times Square is that way, like this far. So this is the first time that we've actually met in real life. This trip is the first time that I have met both of you. I know you guys have gotten together because you're just a border away. I'm on the other side of the continent.
Isn't it funny how it didn't even occur to us, though, that this is the first time that we met with you until like hours after we got together? Because that's how much time we spent talking to each other all day, solving problems.
Yeah. So we have a private group chat.
Yeah.
The admins that Learn to Make Cheese have a private group chat. And we also talk privately as well. So 20, 30, sometimes 80 times a day. Ping, have you seen this thread? Ping, so-and-so's doing this. You know, that kind of, so that we're all on the same page.
Well, sometimes it takes a little work to answer some of those questions. I mean, they get more complicated as time goes on, which to me thrills me. Not that I want people throwing crazy questions that are way out of my wheelhouse at me, and I don't want to spend many, many hours researching things, but in some ways I do. But it means to me that everybody's growing together, and I live for that, you know?
It's great. I love when I log on and I see the names that I know, the people who post regularly that I knew started out 6 months.
You mean our family?
Our family, yeah. It is our community. It is a community we have built. You know, Chera from the ground up, and we're running with it. And when one of our, I won't say favorites, but somebody whose name we recognize easily without going, oh yeah, that's that chick from somewhere. And they've grown. And they started off with a small cheese.
I love that when you see them grow so much.
And now they're
Love
doing
that.
an Alpine or an Appenzella, or they're trying a Drunken Goat, or they're like, they're stepping out of their comfort zone. And again, don't go absolutely crazy, walk before you run. But I love it when you get to running.
I love it when there's a person that I've been coaching one-on-one, which happens a lot. I get up in the morning, especially on weekend mornings for some reason. I'll have like 9 message windows open when I wake up. I'm like, wow, because I still have to go through all the posts in group, and I still have to approve the members. I mean, not just me, but
we do.
You don't want to keep people waiting. I really do try to answer people right away. I do feel like when I have a day and I'm like really busy doing like other things in my life, I have kids, I'm married, I have a job, and people don't understand that I didn't answer right away. I'm not offended by that, but I think it does mean, I set the bar in terms of I'm going to get right back to you. But I love it. I wake up, and if it's somebody that I have been working with, and then I see them post in group like this finished cheese, or now they're ready to just do more cheeses on their own. I'm like so proud. I love it.
So this is why for me it's great when people post in group, because if you're busy and not on the internet, we can pick it up.
Yeah.
If I'm busy, you guys can pick it up.
I like the one-on-one conversations because then I get to know you guys. I mean, I don't want like, every cheese people messaging me, but if you need help, really
message an admin.
Yeah.
Because that's what we do. We do this for free because we love it.
And I really never mind. I don't.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So do you want to talk a little bit about what your day looks like, as it refers to Learn to Make Cheese?
Well, I probably don't sleep through the night. I don't know, probably 3 or 4 times a week.
Same.
I discovered years ago that if I get up, and I know they say don't get on your phone, but actually I find that if I get up and I'm on my phone, some of the backlog that happened while we went to sleep, we can sort of catch up on it, and I'll sometimes be on group for an hour, sometimes 2 hours, and I now know my body enough to know, okay, now I'm done, and then I'll go to bed.
Yeah.
But then Rachel might be up.
That is pretty much how it works.
It often is.
I think you're up right before me, and then like a big flurry of action happens after that, but I can see what you've done.
Yeah.
The 3 of us have found out is that each one of us has a thing that we specialize in. So even if I can see you guys have finished answering questions, I'll go like way back because I might have something that could really help somebody out that that was not missed, but it's
not mentioned.
It's just a different point of view to add to it,
We come from different, we come at looking at cheese from different perspectives. I've lived overseas for years, so often I'll see that the maker is from a different country, and there's lots of different things that we have to look out for in terms of sanitation with like the milk, because here it doesn't always happen, but there are lots of things in place to make sure that cows are healthy. But in other countries, that's not the case. And so pasteurization actually is therefore a must. It's not just a choice. There can be lasting sort of things that can happen to you. So I've also a background in community health. And so just, going through some of those things.
Yeah.
I can think of 5 people right now who, because of some sort of a bacterial contamination that they experienced, have permanent IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, or other things that their lives have been, basically their whole life has been changed to varying degrees. And so, we're passionate about keeping people safe and healthy.
Which is not to say that we don't believe in raw milk, because I very, very, very much do. I think it's a situational thing. And I think sometimes we have to be careful of saying one way is better than the other, because it's not necessarily true. I think
Splitting group, we do a poll about once a year.
Yeah.
And the splitting group always comes down 50-50. Do you have access to raw milk? Do you not have access to raw milk? I have goats. That means I occasionally will have goat milk. Hopefully in like a month, I will have goat milk available again, finally. But when I teach, I have to use pasteurized, homogenized, store-bought milk.
Which is fine.
'cause
You
that's
can
the
make
rules
excellent
in-
cheese from that too.
in my province. And it's fine. Every single one of the classes I have done, every single one of those people has left with their cheese.
Yeah, I primarily use pasteurized homogenized because that's been what's been easiest for me to get. I would have to travel quite a ways to get milk or pay quite a high price. And so I took an 18-month-old Appenzeller to this
The gathering.
Meeting of the milkmaids.
meeting of the milkmaids that we just went to. We all had to bring cheeses. And not one person said, oh, these are cheese professionals who were tasting this. Oh, this tastes like it was made with homogenized pasteurized milk.
No,
Not
you're
one said that.
No, of course not.
Because it was an awesome cheese.
It was.
It was.
It was a really good cheese.
Thank you.
And the anxiety that some of us suffered over taking a cheese to that room to be put on that table in front of those people.
And you know, it's funny because some really important people came up to me and said, no, that cheese is great. And you suffer from imposter syndrome. You're like, nah.
That cheese was great.
It was.
I brought my cloth bound cheddar, guys, from the challenge. And it was, but I think I also could have brought other cheeses that I made. What I did discover was, after all the reading I've done about, you know, flavor development and what's preferred in cheese competitions among the professionals, actually they like the same cheeses we do.
Yeah.
They really do. They like the sweet, nutty finish on certain things, and then so I could have brought. You guys should have seen. I brought like so many cheeses down, and I made Heather and Tracy. I was so insecure. I could have brought. I really had another cheese I wanted to bring, and I could have brought that, and that would have brought the house down, right? Too, I guess, if you guys thought the cloth bound was okay.
Everybody thought the cloth bound was lovely.
Yeah.
Not one person said anything negative.
No,
about
I got
either
some
of your
good
cheeses.
feedback on that. Yeah.
And I made a cheese when I got accepted to go to this. I made a cheese and I opened it up on Wednesday. I was leaving Thursday, and I hated it. It was terrible. Like it wasn't terrible. It was just tasteless. So it was an Appenzeller, but very young, and I'm not sure if it just didn't develop the flavor. I don't know. Maybe it was just basically because it was young. But I Googled it, which we often do when we're looking at cheeses, looking at when people have holes in their cheese. Is this the way that it looks, you know, from a professional maker? But yeah, it just didn't have the taste that I wanted. And so I had reserved half a wheel of Appenzeller that I had made 18 months ago. And that's what I took. So yeah, I mean, even we do cheeses that we're just not really happy with.
Or you just really doubt yourself. But yeah, no, I definitely make mistakes. I always say, like, if I'm going to try a new style of cheese, I've got to mess it up one time. And I think I learn more from not getting it right than I do by getting it right.
Yes. And good notes, please.
Yes.
Please keep good notes.
Yeah.
Because when you circle back in 3 months and there's, God forbid, holes in that cheese, you can tell us what you did. We can then help you assess your level of comfort. Is it safe for you to eat? Do we think so? Do you think so? Because we can't tell by looking at it. It's a picture of a cheese with some holes in.
Scientific studies are wonderful and they serve a purpose, but they're often written in a way that is very hard to read. It's very hard for me to read. It takes me a long time, and half the time I don't understand what I'm reading. But sometimes I do, and then I'm able to bring it to group, and I can start to identify whole patterns. The other thing, too, if you've been around for a while and you've been answering questions and you answer a ridiculous number of them per day, you start to notice patterns.
Yeah.
Right? Like a person will come in, like when the milking season begins, and you have people in milk for the first time ever experiencing blown cheese after blown cheese after blown cheese. But there's always a few. They'll start out and they'll say, I don't think it's blown. And then like 4 or 5 cheeses later, that's what's been going on. And that's not anybody's fault. It's hard to get all those variables correct. And you just start to see patterns after a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're just trying to make sure that nobody throws away milk, because if you have to milk an animal, you have to milk them every day, by the way. If they're in milk, they need milking, or they will get sick very, very quickly. So you put all that work in, and that kills me. Like, I'm old now, but I love my goats.
You're not old.
So I feel old when I'm milking, especially when it's like -30 outside.
Oh, I can't even.
And then I get old. Yeah, I get old fast when it's -30. But I dried them off this winter, so I didn't have to milk over winter.
Yeah.
And I've got 4 fresh rationers as well. So, you know, that's going to be awesome. I'm going to have so much milk. Oh, it's so cool. But you put all the effort into milking, and it is work. And you bring the milk back in the house, and you get it cold fast. Or you make cheese straight away with it. It's like you've done all that work before you've even got the milk in the vat.
And then
And
it's
then
like
you
a
make the
whole
cheese.
day on a cheese. No, nobody wants to say that's contaminated.
Yeah.
Nobody.
We don't ever want to say throw that cheese away. We have a
But-
document on that if you want to read more. It's in the featured section.
And one on additives, and that's more like there are a lot of questions about how to heat treat additives. We all had them. We'll put them in one place. Do with it what you will. You're not going to heat treat additives. That's fine. Just, know what comes with that.
Keep notes.
Just be aware of the risks.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my day starts very similarly to yours, except about 3 hours later, because obviously I'm on the West Coast. We're 3 hours out of sync on the time zone. First thing I do, I'm not even out of my bed yet, and I'm on my phone. I'm
Same.
checking if
Yeah.
anything urgent has happened in group, because we don't normally have post approval turned on. At the moment, we do, because the 3 of us are not on our phones right now. We're busy. We're enjoying some time off.
We have done such cool things.
We have done such cool things.
So
And
excited.
that's all we're going to tell you. It's a secret.
She won't let me.
So we've had a great time. We've had a fabulous time, and we've still got more to go.
Yes.
You know, Rachel has got a great program in place for us. We suggested things that we were interested in doing, and she's made all of it work, which is fabulous. But for just now, my day in cheese, my day in Learn to Make Cheese starts the same as you. I get up, I look in group, I see if there's anything urgent that, needs attention. Someone got a question that you guys haven't picked up, because that's the other great thing. So you guys have both been admins more than a year now. We've just had your admin anniversaries. And I know that you've got it. So if there's a question, I don't feel that I have to weigh in now, because I know one of you will weigh in, and we all speak the same language. We all care about the same things, and we're all trying for the same outcome, which is healthy, safe cheese and happy people.
Most of what I answer all day is just, how do I treat this rind? How do I wash this? And I live for rinds. I live for them. So I love those questions. And sometimes people, through talking to people, I'll actually learn things by their question. How do I get this culture to work? Why can't I get a set? My cheese is weeping. It didn't knit together. And I can teach people little tricks that I picked up along the way. Because, you name it, it's happened. I think on the fly and do a lot of reading. Like when I first started, and every cheddar I made weeped and was like all bitter. And you remember that's when I met Heather.
Mm-hmm.
I read every single cheddar problem thread on Cheese Forum. Don't do that. It took forever.
See, this is why you're great. You are just generally great, but this is one of the things.
Obsessive compulsive.
This is one of the things you excel at, is what I was going to say. That
Yeah.
you're really good at research. So, I don't have time to sit and read a bunch of books.
I love to read, though.
And it's something you're really, really good at. And Heather is really, really good at people. Heather just knows people. She just understands people. And between the 3 of us and the other admins that we have in group, we just have this massive dynamic that just really works. But I wanted to do this video mostly because what you see in group is like this much. You see 1/10 of what we do in a day. And I wanted to thank them from you and me.
We want to thank Tracy, too.
Because it's a great community. We've built this fabulous community, and it's growing exponentially. 1,000 members in a week have just joined.
But, we've been away, and I'm like checking once a day, which is unlike me. And I woke up this morning, and I woke up yesterday morning, and I look in group, and things have come up, and I see members, the admins will be along. Here's what I think it is. And it's nice because it's validating in that I can see that people appreciate what we do. And I can also see that we really have built some kind of a village where if we can't step in, people just step in and help people, right? We all just help each other. I really just view it more as talking with my friends, you know?
Yeah. When I joined group, I knew nothing about cheese. You know, Chera took me under her wing. She taught me everything. And I have then gone on to teach that to other people and help other people. And seeing that happen to the next generation, seeing the people that we've helped turn around and help the next guy up, you know, that's right here, you know, that
and
gets
then
me.
We can talk about more fun stuff. Like the fact that we sort of turned things around and put those policies in place enabled me to convince everybody that we could have a Clabber doc and a Clabber expert. We could start to explore that because everybody has an understanding of there are sort of procedures in place. You know, if we're going to do it, let's do it right. Right?
Yeah.
Best way possible. And we can explore other things that way too. You know what I mean? We need to all be on the same page before they'll let me do it.
It gives people more choices.
Yes.
You know, I run a company that sells cultures. I want you to buy cultures, but if you want to make cheese with yogurt, I did that for a year. I can tell you about that. You did that for a year.
There are plenty of producers who, fine, yogurt, but there are plenty of producers who will make their own starters and use adjunct starters. I don't think it has to be this way or that way.
No, there's room for everyone at the table.
And in fact, you could take what is your terroir and tweak it. I like the idea of sort of controlling, because that's what cheese making really is all about, controlling variables, right? Controlling the moisture, controlling the salt, controlling the flavor profile, right?
Yeah, and when I made a Brazilian grilling cheese to take
to me,
I was going to take it to Rachel, but I had friends coming over from Brazil, and so I made this cheese for them, and I just wasn't happy with the flavor, and I thought, well, probably they're using raw milk, and I'm not using raw milk, so how do I replicate that? So I took a bit of farmhouse culture that I had from Tracy, and
that was exciting.
put a bit of lipase in it, and made a Brazilian grilling cheese, which I took to Rachel's, and
yes, it was fantastic.
And she actually had made halloumi. We kind of did a bit of a, you know, what are comparable side by side, and it was lots of fun, and and that's like Rachel said. There's often no set answer for that's just overall for everybody, and that's what makes cheese complicated. It has to do with the humidity in your house. It has to do with the temperature in your house. It has to do with the kind of milk you have. It has to do with the lactation cycle if you have animals. It has to do with slowly you heated the milk, how aggressively you stirred your curds. Like there's just so many variables, and so we it's a challenge. It's a challenge to make good cheese.
I counted once. It's 142 variables. If you're using store-bought milk to get from store-bought milk to cheese on the table, there's 142 variables. There's 82 more variables if you're milking the animal yourself. Wow. That's a lot of variables.
Yeah. I mean, I come from a culinary background, and it's as I usually say to new people starting out, it's not like making brownies. You know, you can't just take a recipe and follow it exactly and have the same results. It doesn't usually work out that way.
See, I just ate, so you're going to have to fill in.
Do you want to talk about what cheese?
That Harbison is amazing.
That's from Jasper Hill. Yeah, it is. They're like masters. So it's a spruce wrap cheese. and it gets super gooey inside. So
I've never tried that before.
isn't it great?
In fact, I didn't. Other than the Gouda.
I put that out on holidays all the time, and I just think it's
So
fantastic.
this is a Taleggio, and I can smell the Taleggio.
I didn't have any yet. And then this one over here, we're gonna look at I'm gonna botch it. Leonora a Fuego by Matika. And it's got like a spicy kick at the end. It's a little bit like a Humboldt Fog. It's a goat cheese.
I picked that one out.
It's so good.
And this one is
Appenzeller?
Yeah, that's an Appenzeller.
Appenzeller. And
It's
then
I
this
think
is
a
the Gouda.
young one because
Yeah, it is.
Heather's
that one.
has more of a depth of flavor, but I think it's very young.
And this Gouda has crystals in.
Yeah, I got the tyrosine.
Yeah.
Like candy. Do you want some of this?
I do.
Here, you can have it first.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. You want some?
Likelihood that there might be garlic in there. High or low confidence.
Low.
Okay.
It's just like I don't know if
It's just peppers.
yes,
Mhm.
it's got like spice to it.
All right.
Hence the fuego. I bet it's pretty good with the honey.
And it's a goat cheese.
It's a goat cheese, yeah.
So bloomy rind.
I believe we got this one at Murray's.
Oh, guys, Murray's Grand Central Station. The bomb.
It's really good.
Oh, it was really good. It's got like a nice heat that it delivers right at the end.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how to explain it. It's not like regular. It's not spicy in the way that I would think it is. It lingers. It almost like simmers on your tongue,
Yeah, it does.
doesn't it?
It's good. It's probably the type of pepper that they've used.
Yes.
Tracy's are worse.
Yeah, I might need a
And
palate
the,
cleanser
and the
after
paste, the paste is lemony, and it's really smooth and creamy. Yeah, it's the with the heat. Yeah, the heat.
that. Still there.
The heat is
It
interesting.
lingers.
It does linger.
It's not like super super intense. It just is still.
That's
there.
outside my comfort zone, and I would shy away from that.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm.
I did not enjoy that. I'm not saying it's not good. It's fabulous.
Have a cracker.
I'm sitting here trying to guess what the pepper is that's on there.
You can probably look it up.
It sure as hell isn't paprika. I'm telling you that right
No,
now.
it is not paprika.
That's
Yeah.
around about my spice level.
And it's also not cayenne. I don't think it's cayenne because it has a different depth of flavor than just cayenne does. But yeah, it's really good.
See, that's the thing. Everyone can like different things. You don't all have to love the same cheeses. Because then that would be really deathly boring. You know?
Remember when you didn't like blue cheese?
Yes, absolutely. Like, until a year ago, I wouldn't touch blue cheese. And then someone very smart told me to try this blue cheese and handed it to me. And I did. And ever since then, I've been a complete blue cheese addict. I still don't like Stilton. I still don't like the low moisture blue because
Oh, I
it's
do.
too strong for me.
I
I
love
like
blue.
the gooey, the fudgy. I like the unctuous, the scorgy, maybe even slightly spreadable. Santa Gur is my favorite blue right now. But Gorgonzola Dolce, I did a group class for Gorgonzola Dolce.
That's a good cheese.
It is. I just opened the last one that I made for that challenge because I did two. I did one where I harvested the mold from another cheese, from a store-bought cheese, and mothered it in milk. And I did another one where I used, obviously, store-bought cultures because I have a store. So I did both of those cooks at the same time. There's a video on my YouTube. And it explains the mothering process. If you're going to use a cheese to reculture to make another cheese, it goes through that. We don't recommend you spread it on bread. We recommend you mother it in warm milk and use it straight away.
Right.
I'm just tasting the rind on that Appenzeller, and definitely is less interesting than mine.
Yeah. Well, you made one heck of a blend. What did you put on your rind again?
Oh,
And you made the wine that you washed it in.
yes,
didn't
I
you?
did. I made the wine that I washed it in.
She grew the
I
pears in her backyard.
grew the pears in my backyard. I used pear wine, and I just basically went around my garden and just picked bunches of herbs. So oregano, basil, lemon balm, thyme, rosemary, and then my culinary lavender, and made my way around to the roses, rose hips, and then I knew that there's a bit of an alpine blend. Rachel's saving your book, and
It won't fall.
and so I
It's gonna
just
land on your
looked
book.
at the lawn and picked out dandelion leaves and some
Thank you.
some plantain, which is another weed, and some chamomile, wild chamomile that was growing. And then I went into the house and then just took things from my spice cupboard as well. So star anise and some lemon peel and some orange peel. And if you're interested, I have the list and I'm happy to pass it on. And then just steeped that in the pear wine for a couple of weeks. I boosted the alcohol content because my pear wine is about probably somewhere between 10 and 11%. And I wanted a higher alcohol content to help with keeping things, the sanitization and all that. And then I started washing, my Appenzeller in it, and yeah, it
was special.
It was really unique.
What's really interesting about it is this is now the third time that I got to taste this cheese, right? And you can really tell, when somebody makes a cheese in group and they just can't wait and they want to know how early they can try it, and they try it at 3 weeks. And I'm so guilty of this, but you can really tell how the flavor grows. You think that it can't be happening, but that bacteria really is still alive, right? Or at least what's left from them, it's still working.
So this concoction that I made, I called it an elixir. When I tasted it, it was like tasting a meadow. I don't really know what a meadow tastes like, but this tasted like a meadow. And at 6 months, Rachel had a piece at 6 months, and it was very herbaceous. And really good and nutty. And then I visited, and it was about 12 months, and Rachel tasted it and said, the floral it's so floral.
And it was really Swissy. I don't know how to
Yes.
explain that. Like,
Yes, very Swissy. And then at 18 months, one of the comments, somebody said it tastes like it's been washed in champagne. So
yes, I heard that. I heard someone say that.
So yeah, so just different notes coming out
that's awesome.
in the space, in the increments of over the course of 18 months.
So this is why you can't eat your cheddar at 3 weeks. I mean, you can, but it won't taste right.
But if you taste it and it's too mild, put it back, seal it, wait.
Yeah.
Patience is a virtue.
Or, it is kind of fun to watch, to taste along as it develops. You get a real sense for, what flavor profile you like, what is best. Certain things like the higher moisture cheeses, they'll go off after a while, right?
Yeah.
So
They
start
definitely can
developing
go
off
over.
flavors. Like if you age a Gouda too long, sometimes if you haven't driven out the proper moisture, that's why some recipes will say, if you're going to age it to this, then stir for this amount of time.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So
Now-
you have to sort of be intentional about it.
This is different. If you eat off this side and you eat off that side, it's completely different.
Well,
The
I
paste.
think that might have been the cut side, no? Oh, no, you ate around the... Yeah. Interesting.
So that's my first ever taleggio. I'd never tried taleggio before.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it was good. There wasn't too much funk on the rind. I'm always nervous. I mean, I'm still learning
That's good. That's
the
really good.
bee linens rinds, the washed rinds, and that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's good. Unfortunately, it's a soft cheese, so I couldn't take it back to Canada with me if I tried. But you can buy that in Canada, and I probably will.
Good
And
So,
this
sorry.
was, I was going to say that they were talking quite a bit about how we went to a lecture tonight and how they're inventing boxes so that they can get this cheese to market without it getting all squished. And also, too, because of the rind, they want good air circulation.
It's funny that we bought that and then that was a big topic tonight.
It was
a total
It
random
was
thing.
so
Yeah.
fascinating.
Mm. So, does anybody have anything else they'd like to add?
Oh, just thank you.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you. Because we wouldn't have a group if people didn't just show up and stick around and make cheeses and, get off the fence, climb down off of the wallflower and just try that first cheese. Because we have a contingent in group who have never and probably will never make cheese. And you're welcome to. You're absolutely welcome to. But if you want to learn to make cheese and something's stopping you, again, talk to one of the admin because we were all there. None of us had made cheese until we first made cheese. And also, you see the pictures, like the spotlight picture every week, and all of the pictures that get posted in group of these glorious, beautiful works of art cheeses, and you're like, I could never make that.
I remember that, and I remember wondering, what are the differences between all these cultures? How does anybody know this stuff?
Yeah.
I'll
And so-
never know this stuff. You learn it.
So my advice there is don't compare my year 8 with your day 1.
Yeah.
Because my first cheese was a mess. It was a hot mess. My second cheese was hot pink. I've told the story in group, but yeah, I've tried lots and lots of really, really stupid things and learnt from doing that. So yeah, if you haven't made cheese yet, or you're too nervous, you're too frightened, or something is standing in your way, ask, because we can probably help. Because that's what we do.
And also thank you.
Yeah.
Because seriously, I started making cheese at a really rough time in my life. And definitely group changed sort of my outlook. So thanks. Thanks for putting up with me.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stuff on Facebook which is pretty negative. So the fact that we have such a positive...
no politics.
No.
No.
We have
Oh,
such
I
a
love
positive
it.
group.
Yeah.
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 Such a
we do.
positive group. And helpful people.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank
Make
you.
our day.
Every day.
Every day.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's cheese in every day for me, whether I'm eating it or talking about it in group or, just chatting with you guys about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
it's just
taking
the
care of all of our babies in our cheesecake.
The affinage, the Flip It
Yes.
Fridays.
Yes.
Yeah.
For me, it's like every. Yeah.
So yeah, we're here. We have cheeses that we've left in the care of our husbands.
I vacuum sealed all of mine. When I get
I,
home, I'm going to open. I've got a future cloth bound, but I didn't have time to get it to a mold static situation before I left. So it's just naked and it's in its vacuum seal, and I'll open it and I'll air dry it again, and then I'll cloth bind it when I get home.
I left gloves out. I'm like, just put the glove on. Flip it. Put the glove on. Flip it. Yeah.
I said, put the glove on, flip it, and please wipe out the box.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so we're done. We're going to go and finish the rest of this and our drinks. And it's midnight now, so we should probably try and get some sleep also. But yeah, we just wanted to connect with you guys and just let you know what we do, what happens in group, and just also because we're together for the first time. Hey, this is super cool. We don't have to do this by Zoom. They're right here. So yeah, thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And goodbye.